What is up, everybody? This is another episode of Bring That Wood show. Guys, we've got a lot to talk about today. Got some big things going on in the world of college sports. Just had a huge weekend of college football. Well, I say a huge weekend. We had the Heisman presentation. We had Navy, Army. We've got a lot of things going on in the transfer portal. A lot of things to talk about. We've got bowl games coming up this Friday. Looking forward to bowl season. Couldn't be more excited about that. But man, we've got a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and kick it off with the Navy versus Army game. Such a prestigious game, to say the least. Navy versus Army. Navy pulling off the upset there, but such a cool game. And I think that is that's definitely one to put on the bucket list for me and myself. The bowl games, man. Let's kind of kick into that a little bit. Bowl games starting this Friday. We've got two bowl games that night. We've got the Bahamas Bowl and the Cure Bowl. We've got in the Bahamas Bowl, we've got Middle Tennessee versus Toledo. Always kind of like to kick off these little games. I say little, they're huge to the players and to the universities, but man, that should be a good one. Cure Bowl, Northern Illinois versus Coastal Carolina. That is down in Orlando. And then Saturday, we've got the Boca Raton Bowl, which is in Boca, Florida. We've got App State versus Western Kentucky. Should be a good one there as well. Next, we've got Celebration Bowl, which is in Atlanta, and that is Jackson State versus South Carolina State. Jackson State coming off a really good season with Deion Sanders as the head coach. A lot of guys a lot of people that thought that hire wouldn't work out, or this and that. But man, 11-1, great season, won the SWAC. Looking forward to the things that come out of that program in Jackson State. Next up Saturday, we've got the New Mexico Bowl, which is in Albuquerque. We've got Fresno State versus UTEP. Fresno State should definitely win that one. Had a great year this year. Then we've got the Independence Bowl. Always a nice one down in Shreveport. We've got BYU versus UAB. Kind of an ugly bowl game for number 13 BYU to be in. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they signed a contract at the beginning of the year with their bowl people. Not for sure how that works out for them, but being an independent, you're kind of stuck with what you get. But should be a game that BYU wins. And then we've got three more games on Saturday. Excuse me. We've got the Lending Tree Bowl, which is in Mobile, Alabama. We've got Eastern Michigan versus Liberty. We've got Hugh Freeze and the Liberty Flames. Man, what a great season that they've had. Malik Willis probably going to be a first-round pick as a quarterback. If not, early second round. That should be a really good game. Then we've got the LA Bowl, which is in Inglewood, California. SoFi Stadium, Oregon State, Utah State, and then the nightcap, the New Orleans Bowl. Number 23, Louisiana Lafayette versus Marshall. Louisiana losing Billy Napier to Florida, but still should come out and win that game, in my opinion. Don't have anything Sunday, obviously, NFL games going on. Monday, we've got the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We've got Tulsa versus Old Dominion. Should be a decent game to watch. Tuesday, we have the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, which, I'm going to tell you what, Idaho doesn't seem like a very great place to be this time of year, but people just give that bowl all the respect in the world as far as being in Boise, and a lot of teams really enjoy going to that just because of how nice the people treat those teams up there. We've got Kent State versus Wyoming, should be a decent one to watch. Then the Frisco Bowl from Frisco, Texas, is number 24 San Diego State versus UTSA. UTSA, a great season, won their conference. San Diego State coming off a disappointing conference championship loss, but nonetheless a talented team. Wednesday, we've got the Armed Forces Bowl, Missouri versus Army. Army coming off that disappointing loss to Navy. I fully expect them to beat Missouri. Missouri is just not that great of a player in this bowl game. Just foresee Army just being the better team ultimately. And then Thursday, you've got the Frisco Football Classic another bowl game in Frisco, Texas. You got Miami of Ohio versus North Texas. North Texas should have a pretty decent crowd then. And then you've got the Gasparilla Bowl. You've got Florida versus little brother UCF in Tampa. That should be a good one to watch for sure. Gus Malzahn being the coach at UCF, you definitely know that he's going to get his kids up and ready for that one. Friday, Christmas Eve, you've got Memphis versus Hawaii in the Hawaii Bowl. Now, that is a game that I think a lot of teams want to try to get to that aren't up for big bowl games. I think Memphis probably ends up running away with that one, but should be a good game nonetheless. And then you've got Saturday on Christmas Day. Very odd. You've got the Camellia Bowl, Ball State versus Georgia State, and that is in Montgomery, Alabama. That is the only game on Christmas Day. And then Monday, December 27th, you start to see a little bit bigger bowl games. You've got the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit, Western Michigan versus Nevada. Then you've got the Military Bowl that night from, Annapolis, Maryland. East Carolina versus Boston College should be a good one there. Tuesday, you've got the Birmingham Bowl. Number 20, Houston versus Auburn. Auburn in a very odd place right now. Losing Bo Nix to the transfer portal. Thought they lost Tank Bigsby, but apparently he's not leaving as of Tuesday, December 14th. That was the last I heard of that. Then you've got the First Responder Bowl, Air Force versus Louisville from Dallas. Then you've got the Liberty Bowl, Texas Tech versus Mississippi State. From Memphis, Tennessee. That should be a really good game. Mike Leach is going to be up for that one for sure. Texas Tech still owing him a nice big fat paycheck. So we'll definitely see Mississippi State if they come out and play. Then you've got the Holiday Bowl that evening. NC State versus UCLA from Petco Park in San Diego. NC State has had a sneaky decent year this year. Number 18 coming into this one should, in my opinion, win. Then you've got the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Minnesota versus West Virginia from Phoenix, Arizona. I think the Golden Gophers come away with that one, but should be a good one nonetheless. Let's see what we've got next. And then we've got Wednesday, December 29th. We've got the Fenway Bowl from Fenway Park in Boston. We've got Virginia and SMU. Wonder how the crowd will look there with Virginia and SMU. You'd figure the Cavs would have a pretty decent fan base there. Then you've got the Pinstripe Bowl from Yankee Stadium in New York, Virginia Tech versus Maryland, the Cheez-It Bowl, number 19 Clemson versus Iowa State. How about Clemson coming in and having following up a decent year, going 9-3 after the way that they started off the year? I think they'll end up winning that bowl game, but that should be one that they win. And then you've got the Who Wants to Be There More Bowl, the Alamo Bowl. Number 14, Oregon versus number 16, Oklahoma from San Antonio, Texas. Hard to really say. I mean, Oregon came out and had a disappointing championship game. Mario Cristobal gone. We'll see. Oklahoma, 10-2, not what they expected. Lincoln Riley gone to USC. Got Bob Stoops being the interim. We'll see who comes out and wants to be in that one for sure. Thursday, December 30th, you've got the Duke's Mayo Bowl, North Carolina versus South Carolina. Shane Beamer has come in and had a very sneaky good year. This guy, comes into a program that was not on the down. At first year, gets him to a bowl game at 6-6. We'll also talk about another guy committing there. But that game is early on Thursday. Then you've got the Music City Bowl, Tennessee versus Purdue. Should be a good one from Nashville. The Peach Bowl. You've got Michigan State versus Pittsburgh. Two well-deserving teams to be there from Atlanta. I think Pittsburgh should run away with that one in all honesty. Michigan State, decent but terrible against the pass. Then you've got the Las Vegas Bowl, Wisconsin versus Arizona State to end the night that night. Friday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, you've got the Gator Bowl, Wake Forest versus Texas A&M. I think A&M walks with that one, but could be a lot closer than what a lot of people think. Then you've got the Sun Bowl, Washington State versus Miami. Miami, they just got their guy, Cristobal. We'll see how that one ends up by going. Arizona Bowl, presented by Barstool Sports. Very excited about this one. Central Michigan versus Boise State. Should be a good one there. Then you've got a college playoff semifinal in Alabama, Cincinnati. And then you've got another semifinal game that night, Michigan and Georgia. Those two games should be really good games. I think Cincinnati pushes Alabama in the first half there, but then Alabama comes away and runs away with that one. Michigan, Georgia should be a slobber knocker the whole time. Comes down to probably a last possession. Could be like a 24-20 type game, something like that. And then New Year's Day, Outback Bowl, Arkansas versus Penn State. Go Hogs on that one. Then we've got the Citrus Bowl, Iowa versus Kentucky. Then we've got Notre Dame versus Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. That should be a good one. Rose Bowl, Ohio State versus Utah. And then we've got the Sugar Bowl, Baylor versus Ole Miss, which could be a shootout of a game. Then we've got the weird Texas Bowl, kind of in between the championship game and all the other bowls, Kansas State versus LSU. I think LSU ends up winning that one, not by much, but still. And then January 10th will be the national championship game. Should be an exciting bowl season, guys. One to look forward to for sure. Let's see what else we got next on the list. Heisman results. Bryce Young wins. Not a huge shocker in that one for sure. Probably the most uneventful Heisman. And, I mean, a lot of people compare it to that, what was it, 09, 010 season maybe, or 08, 09. Mark Ingram winning the Heisman there. I mean, very uneventful. Nobody really stood out. Nobody had a true Heisman moment in that. But Bryce Young, if you go and look at his numbers, very comparable to what Joe Burrow did 2 years ago, which is sneaky good. Who would have thought that could have been comparable? But very similar in yards, very similar in touchdown to interceptions. Bryce Young, sneaky doing it. But here's the thing in that. Joe Burrow didn't lose a game that season, 14-0. Probably the best college football team that we've ever seen compared to this Alabama team that lost to A&M at 8-4. Next, transfer portal, Quinn Ewers officially commits to Texas. Does this mean Texas is back? The highest regarded quarterback recruit in history besides Vince Young. That's just crazy to me. We'll see what happens there. If their quarterback room stays or if they have anybody that leaves. Be interesting to see how Steve Sarkisian works that out. But we'll see, off a disappointing 5-7 season. Zach Calzada to the portal. A lot of people are saying Max Johnson from LSU may end up replacing Calzada. But they do have their quarterback, name slips my mind in this moment, Haynes King, I believe is his name. That's there, got hurt. They think really highly of him, but look for Max Johnson to maybe jump into that A&M quarterback room. UCLA has a plethora of quarterbacks at options. A lot of people thought Spencer Rattler, which, by the way, committed to South Carolina last night. Shane Beamer, heck of a job getting him from the portal. I think South Carolina's on the up and up. But UCLA, their starter may come back next year, and plus they may get Dylan Gabriel from UCF, which would be a huge get for that program. Chip Kelly is struggling there to get that thing off the ground. Hogs land Landon Jackson, transfer from LSU, 6'7", 273, I believe, is his measurables. Appeared in 5 games, so his red shirt was burned last year. Didn't record any statistics. I'd have to go back and look exactly what happened there. But I know with what all they went through last year, and I know he ended up getting hurt, so we don't know the full situation of why he didn't record any stats or anything like that. But we'll be interested to see how he ends up fitting in with the defensive line group at Arkansas, but a huge get for that Arkansas program. Now, college basketball was absolutely fantastic last week. Um, a lot of upsets. I mean, I've got a list of them. Purdue. I mean, that's three number one teams that go down 3 weeks in a row. I mean, just absolutely crazy scene there at Rutgers. Florida loses to Texas Southern by double-digit points at home. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Just, I don't know. Very, very odd. Texas loses to Seton Hall, a tough one there at Seton Hall. Arkansas was a rough game. Um, Losing to Oklahoma, they fall 12 spots in the poll this week. Just didn't come out, play well. A lot of the things that people thought that they would struggle with and have struggled with, they got exposed by Oklahoma. Oklahoma, I don't think is a bad team. They're decent. We'll see how that loss kind of matters late in the year if it does at all. But I do think that was a really rough game to lose. Arizona wins on the road at Illinois. Kentucky falls to Notre Dame. Kind of a tough one there. I mean, playing at Notre Dame, 3-4 Notre Dame, not really that great. They ended up dropping 11 spots in the poll. Alabama wins a very controversial game against Houston. They had thought that there was goaltending at the end of the game. But Alabama gets the win against the Houston Cougars anyway. Let's take a look at the college basketball polls for this week. Due number 1 is Baylor. Let's see, Duke at number 2. Purdue falls to number 3. UCLA stays at 4. Gonzaga stays at 5. Alabama goes up to number 6. Kansas goes up to number 7. Arizona goes up to number 8, which to me, Arizona hasn't been that impressive this year, but everybody in the country wants to name them a national champion already. Villanova falls 3 spots to number 9. Let's see here. USC goes up to number 10. Iowa State goes up to number 11. Michigan State goes up to number 12. Auburn goes up to number 13. Houston stays at 14. Ohio State moves up to number 15. Seton Hall moves up to 16. Texas falls to number 17. Tennessee falls to number 18. LSU up 6 spots to number 19. Heck of a job by those guys. Not a big Will Wade fan. Think he's a sleaze bag, but that's my opinion and mine alone on that one. Connecticut drops 5 spots to number 20. Kentucky, again, drops 11 spots to 21. Xavier stays at number 22. Colorado at 23. Hogs drop to number 24. Texas Tech gets into the polls at number 25. And then you've got some others receiving votes. Wisconsin, North Carolina, Providence, Oklahoma, San Francisco, Illinois. But yeah, great college basketball slate. Again, I think we're in one of those years where there's not a clear, definite number one team. We really thought that Gonzaga was going to be that team, but has lost 2 games now to lower competition, in my opinion. I mean, if you consider it that way. But still has a good team up there. Purdue has all the pieces to make a national title run, but we'll see if that ends up losing traction. Still fully believe in the SEC. The ACC looks terrible. They look absolutely terrible this year. Duke being the only ranked team in the ACC. That's absolutely crazy to think about. Then you've also got the Big 12 will always be the Big 12. I think Kansas has a legit shot to make the Elite Eight, Final Four run. I don't know about national championship aspirations, but Kansas is always one of those programs that can make a run. Some games to look forward to. Tennessee versus Memphis. Let's see if Memphis can get off of that losing streak. I know Penny Hardaway is definitely feeling the heat on that chair right now. You've got Gonzaga versus Texas Tech. Should be a good one there. And then you've got Ohio State versus Kentucky. Look for Kentucky to bounce back. I think they do. Baylor versus Oregon could be a sneaky good game. Oregon unranked right now, but started off the year. I know a top 15 program. Had some early losses, but still all the talent in the world up there for Dana Altman and the Ducks. But man, guys, I apologize for the delay in this episode. I'm trying to be as consistent as possible. I'm probably going to be more likely to put out one episode a week, more than two, especially right now with the downtrend of college football. But maybe with the uptick in college basketball and maybe when college baseball gets going, maybe 2 episodes a week. We'll see how that goes. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. And also just let me know if there's anything that you guys want to talk about specifically. Thank you guys.